dun, 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 dun. Oh my God, Sylvia 8888. I'm patiently waiting to see the captain. Ooh, hey
Oh,
baby,
is that
what's up?
we got some competition there. Two Sylvias fighting it out. Which Sylvia would be the best, you know?
Eh,
Could you
eh,
handle two, Stuart? Could you handle two?
uh,
Anyway, welcome back, everybody. Go vote in the poll right away. Do it.
yes, do it. Do it.
Palpatine, to go.
Do it. Yes. Excellent. 23 votes. Yeah. See, let's see. We got 17 people here, 6 likes. Hit the like button as well. Get those likes up. But
Mm-hmm.
go to the poll. I think a lot of people have come in and they've already, we don't even have to talk about this topic because, Links Yam says no, that is all to the answer to the question. Should you love it? So
Mm.
I don't know why we're here. It's been answered.
Well, no.
Hmm.
There you go. That's my rebuttal to that. You're welcome.
Perfect. Yes.
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 I aim for high energy, well informed commentary.
We need to have discussions. These are community discussions
Mm-hmm.
with you guys. That's why we do them.
It's kind of the reverse of, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but we kind of slanted the, or, put playfield in one tone, and here we are asking us a similar but different question in the other tone. Also,
Yes.
somewhat of a test because last week deserve all the hate. And we had like 110 viewers. It's got
Yeah.
2.5 thousand views because hate is in the word. And now this is the reverse. Should you love?
Indeed. Indeed.
I'm intrigued to see what happens.
Well, Sylvia says he can barely handle one Sylvia, lol. Sylvia's with the J's in them. Tell you what. Anywho's, Joe Brown throws in $10. So
Oh,
thank you so much.
thanks much.
Academy takes the lessons learned from Discovery to heart while bringing in some of the good pieces of Strange New Worlds. We've been genuinely surprised by it. Do I love it? No. Will I keep watching it? Absolutely. Great super chat. Um, brings in some of the good pieces of Strange New Worlds. Yeah, like their doors and their railings and their computer displays.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And we'll get there are a few arguments to talk about here as we get into it. With you guys obviously helping to shift us. But War says if you like the show, watch it. If you don't, then don't. The problem with that though is that the Doctor Who people of this last season said if you don't like it, don't watch it, and the viewership went off a cliff, and they lost their
Ooh.
Disney sponsorship partnership because people didn't watch it. So we're alienating the audience,
Ooh.
telling them not to watch. They stopped watching, and the show is now in the most tenuous situation it's been in since like 1982, when it got cancelled the other time. So, you know, mm,
A
mm.
lot of people are going to say it might need that. It might need to rest for a few years. That's always the argument, right? So
Well then, goodbye to all our legacy actors who are still just about around. Yeah, resting when they're still. Mm, mm, mm.
yeah, that's the problem, right? Like they need their numbers to show that people are interested, but at the same time, you don't want to support bad shows. So it's a tough call in that regard.
Well,
So
it's learning the wrong lessons. We
yes.
want more silly Star Trek. Maybe. Don't know. But I'm going to start sharing, putting your thoughts, comments, questions, super chats, etc. And as you know, Stuart, PayPal gets you
That's my
more.
name.
I'll let you talk about it in a second. See you in a minute.
Yeah, PayPal does get you more. It's 2 for 1 over there. So if you PayPal at trekyards@hotmail.com, you get, well, I mean, it's not like this is a pick this episode show, so it doesn't get you 2 for 1. But PayPal does help us out immensely. So if you can do that, please do so. Or super chat in with your thoughts, comments, questions, concerns, 2 for 1 over there. Theories, so whatever. Yeah, do that. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell icon to all so you don't miss any content from us, whether it be edited or live like this. We're going to interact with you guys. We want to hear from you guys. We want you to be part of the discussion. If you can't super chat or PayPal, just converse in the regular chat, and we will read those as well. But we do read all of the comments on the air that are super chat or PayPal'd in. So if you want your voice heard, that's the way to do it. Also, don't forget, in the description of every video, there are links to the Teespring and the TeePublic store. Click those, check those out. There's some cool Trekyards merch as well as other stuff there as well. So it all helps us out immensely, just you clicking the links. So that's the way. And yeah, thank you for all being here and being part of the discussion. We like having these discussions with you guys, and it's like hanging out with your fellow Trekkies. That you might not get a chance to hang out with because you don't have any Trekkie friends. Whatever. This is the place to be. 13, huh? Anyway, yeah, so Sam will be back in just a second, and then we'll get into the discussion, read the few super chats we got there. So thank you everyone that super chatted, and we will get to those in just a second here. But Lola, lay down. Lola doesn't want to lay down. Yeah, we'll get into all those comments in just a second, guys. He, of course, is sharing and taking forever. There he is. Hi! I wasn't complaining about you at all.
Did the double mega share.
What?
Did a double mega share more places.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Thought it was worth putting it out there.
I will get to the other super chats now, real quick. Robert Buckley throws in. Wait a minute.
Oh, suspense.
Guru 2000
Suspense.
throws in 5. I thought I read this one, €5, but I guess not. To me, it is clear no. I don't have a high opinion on this show, and while I like it, I like more Trek. I don't want them to make this more of this type of Trek.
Question about
that is the trick.
They are learning, though. As we said, it's better than Discovery was, so that's a thing. I mean,
but Stuart, all Trek shows are terrible in the first 2 seasons. Therefore, we have to just ignore the fact that this one is,
yeah,
you know, whatever. We should always make sure that Trek have bad first 2 seasons, as not aim for good seasons. We should always aim for bad seasons to keep.
Yeah. TOS didn't get good till its 4th season. Those first 3 seasons were absolute garbage. So anyway,
Ooh, Adrian, they would never spoil a bad show just to keep franchise alive. Ooh, but I don't think it's a bad show though.
People supported a bad movie, and that resurrected Star Trek.
That is true.
Abrams saved Star Trek.
That is a very good point. It's a terrible movie.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, it's an interesting point when people bring that up. I just like to drop that on them. So anyway,
yeah, that's interesting.
But that was made for the general audience and moviegoers, not Star Trek fans. Well, that's a great fucking tactic. Yeah, let's not make Star Trek for Star Trek fans, because why would we want to do that? That just seems silly.
It's even funnier because since 2009, the older fans are almost 20 years older. So those that were there in 66 are now older. So they should have gone for, you know, demographic of the time. Now, anyway. But the poll, though, 73% are one more vote, guys, and I'll swap it out. So do one more vote spike on the poll. That's what tells us about the other super chats.
Indeed. So Robert Buckley throws in $5. Commander, what is your answer?
Did you give an answer? That's why he's cornering me here.
Nope.
Oh, were you asking an answer?
Nope.
Okay.
They don't care about me. I'm just a pretty face. You're the one with all the smart thoughts.
Yeah, and the gay audience.
Yes. Hold on one second.
Should you love it? Man. I mean, you should not hate nor love. I mean, which... Okay, odd question to everyone in the chat. Genuinely, do you love all the Trek movies? You know? Is love the right word for that sort of stuff? Or do you think they're great? What movies do I love of the originals? There's things in all of them that bring them down. Dustin says, I can't see the chat because of the vote page. I mean, it's working for us. But we do indeed have now 64 votes. Absolutely. So, the voting, I asked you before several hours ago, in fact. Should fans love Academy supporting it? May get us more Trek. It shows the franchise is watched. No, 73%. Fans should love it. And now a more pointed poll. More pointed poll.
Pointed poll. That could hurt, man. Anywho's, Sessiguro 2000, 10 euros. While the idea of young cadets growing up in Starfleet Academy can be done, it has to be done by them doing Trek things. And the only episode I feel that has come close to that is the Klingon episode. The Klingon episode. That's with the flashback to Jaden's family.
You've already forgotten, Stuart? There's only been like
yes, I forgot.
Eight stories.
What happened? What was the other plot of that? I remember the Jaden stuff.
Who? Jaden.
That's what I said.
Yeah. What happened in that one? It was public speaking. And the Klingons having their own, the space battle at the end, kind of. What? Dan Ben, the Protostar is actually mentioned by name in the new Star Trek Voyager game. How is that possible? It wasn't designed, thought of, built, conceived of, or in Voyager yet.
Ooh.
Is there a scene in Endgame in it which mentions it? What? I mean, that's, I guess, a huge spoiler, but don't spoil, but also don't what? Ooh, Elan says, you don't reward bad behavior. It only promotes more bad behavior. These people haven't learned anything of substance. And that's the problem. You rewarded them for Into Darkness, and you didn't reward them for Beyond. You didn't reward the good behavior, right? And Discovery got better.
Yeah.
And you didn't reward them for improving, although, still not good, but at least we put our, overall thought on. Let me see what Section 31 says now. How's that review slant over time?
Oh, fuck, I forgot about that, yeah. That's a thing that happened.
Because obviously there's the potential review bombing of whatever. Well, I never quite understand that, given that it takes a lot of people to make a difference, and who's that bored and lonely to go into a movie just to do a 0 just for the sake of disliking it? That feels like a very sad thing to do, right? And if you go in and say like a 4, fine, that's your opinion, but review bombing implies 0s, right? Just to fuck up the score. So Rotten Tomatoes, and this is kind of rare actually, a 23% critic, which often implies the audience will be more, because there tends to be a disparity between those two things, and the audience is 15%. So it is so out of a possible 200%, it has 38. It's not good.
Yes.
Which is appropriate. Isn't appropriate? And on IMDb, it is a 3.8 out of 10 of 19,000 reviews, with 890 10, 266 9, but 4.8 thousand 1.
Yeah.
So that seems fair.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Chris Gwillem says a protostar is also a space thing. It's not a thing. It's a...
Well, the way Dan said the protostar, not a protostar, the protostar.
I know. Well, he goes on to say, to avoid spoilers, I'm not saying any more on that, but you might want to make a video on it one day.
Cool. Sweet. Exciting.
All right. Robert Buckley throws in $2. Captain, the protostar is being sold now. Oh, is it? I just got my Intrepid class, or my USS Intrepid today. My Duderstad class came today. And I got to go order the protostar.
Are they doing solo buys now? I thought that was...
Yeah, they've been doing that for a while.
Oh. Which company is this again? Fan Home.
Fan Home. Yeah.
I do have to have the protostar, though. They're all absurdly expensive now.
And they're releasing another protostar later next year. That's going to be the transformed.
Yes. Yes. So. £80. XLs from Eagle Moss were $29.99. This is almost 3 times the cost of that for the same thing. And it's going to be the same size. Wow, that's
Yeah, it's
awful.
95 Canadian.
Oh, wow, they're really screwing
Or
us over.
95 US. Sorry, 95 US. Bleh.
85, what's it? 95.
Yeah, 95 US.
It's 106 if you convert it, so they're making more money on us. That means it should cost us 71, it's costing us 80, so they're getting extra 15 whatevers. Which is interesting, because they were 55, and now they've gone up to... Oh, that's really weird. The Archer, the Dauntless are 55, Voyager A is 80, Protostar is 80, Bones are 55, so these two are extra expensive.
Seems like it.
They're picking ones that are... Maybe they made less of them, so they have to charge more, because like, lots of people want... Well, that's really dickish.
Yep. It sure is. Yeah, I'm not super pleased about the price, but that's one I have to have.
Well,
I think they
exactly.
know that. I think I know that. They know that. That's why they're doing it.
I mean, they're making so much profit on that, right?
Yep. And then I'm creating another one that's transformed mode. Just kind of...
Which should look very cool if it's properly detailed. Maybe on a live, you all can help us get Protostars. I'm not even joking, because they're very expensive.
I just completed my purchase. So.
Well, you can backdate, Stu. It's fine. Thematically. Oh, can you imagine doing one of these lives, like help us raise money for ship props, and there's the goal. Stupid, I know, but
help us buy shit.
Help us buy, well, specific shit. Anyway, the people are saying things, and you guys are amazing. But do PayPal if you guys can, because PayPal we get about 40% more. So you could do the numbers on that, make a huge difference. If you can, please do. That's nice, Stuart.
Yes. And thank you, Robert Buckley, for letting me know so that I can spend money on the same day that the other one arrived. Awesome. Sasaguro 2000, 10 euros. And I don't mean the space battle. I mean him grappling what it means to be a Klingon, though through helping his fellow Klingon getting a new homeworld. Oh, that one. Okay, yeah. Using his own strengths. Yes. Yeah, I guess that is very Star Trek in its message, maybe.
And then he's willing to potentially beat up the people who kidnapped his friend. So he is now okay with violence.
Solaris Long Hauler Rail Fan throws in $20, so thank you so much.
Helps.
Well, it looks like Star Trek. I guess that's Star Trek Academy. It's supposed to be Starfleet Academy, SFA. Might not have a second season if it ends like the last few episodes, but hopefully they have learned something and a second season might be better. It's already filmed, and with this whole it's not going to get a second season bullshit is just bullshit. And those videos that keep saying that, they're just it's clickbait. Sorry. It's already been filmed. It's already been greenlit for season 2. You're going to get it whether you want it or not. So all the hoping in the world isn't going to make it so that you don't get a second season. Sorry, guys.
It's funny because it takes 31 milliseconds of research.
Well, yeah.
You know, and also it was plastered everywhere. Because this is an incredibly standard thing to do, guys. Just for those that don't know. You don't order one seasons anymore for most shows because the set budget, if the set budget is, let's say, 15 million, that can't be spent for one season's budget because it's too much. So they're promising that over 2 seasons they'll recoup in budget because they can do some episodes in season 2 that are almost non-existent budget-wise because they're saving to mitigate these costs, and therefore the streaming money of the weekly subscription will pay for it kind of, and if it goes big, then more. Doing one season means you have to get so much extra money in the first season to pay for the entire set, all the cast, crew, and budget and profit. 2 seasons makes that math a lot better. And considering in the olden days you get 22 episodes per season, ordering a 2-season order is just almost 1 season of normal television. At least it used to be normal. So it would have been 1 season back in the day, you know. But yeah, 2 seasons is standard. You know, even things like Stargate, when that was on TV, it was 2 to 3 season orders for a while. It was one of the last shows to get a 3-season order, which is amazing. Which then really helps you budget and carefully do things. But yeah, it's really rare you do less than 2 seasons, which is why you see a lot of shows 2 seasons then gone, and you'll often hear they're cancelled in between the seasons or at the end of the second one because they're not filming more. They've already struck the sets. The reaction wasn't good enough. But yeah, the question is, how long can they? Because every single month they have the sets up. From I think they stopped filming 2-3 weeks ago. Every month they have the sets up. They're wasting tens of thousands of dollars every single week. So they need to commission a third season soon, or they're now burning money from this moment onwards, basically.
Yeah.
And the sets could be also used or given to someone else. So either they'll be struck or they'll commission a third season in the next. It would have to be soon, or they're wasting money and they don't have money to waste.
People are saying it'll get Batgirled, where the Batgirl movie was made and never.
Well, Prodigy, better example.
Yeah, we got all the episodes they made though.
But I mean, it was cancelled before release, and then we undid it. But I mean, that was what they did, right? They said people don't like it, they cancelled it. And we got it back, the fandom. I mean, they might not do that, but it's live action Trek, and there's going to be some big surprises. Yeah, there are tax write-offs, but yeah, I don't know. It's Kurtzman's baby. I think he would probably put his own money in to make sure it gets finished. Given what he done the strikes, he'd probably say, "Yeah, I'll give him $1 million."
Mm.
You know, just for the sense of he got it finished. I could see him doing that.
Robert Buckley, $5. Yeah, time to celebrate, Captain. Thanks for making me spend money.
And it is a cool model, the Pro Star. The size is excellent, but it's just like
it's just weird the ones that they've put that price on, because like Enterprise F, Enterprise G, Voyager A.
Mm-hmm.
All the other ones are like 65.
Mm-hmm. Which is still too much.
Yeah.
That's still double what it should be. But 80 is yeah.
Insanity.
Mm-hmm.
We're insane. I don't know.
How much of the Tomy is that?
Oh, don't even start that.
1/5, 1/6?
Yeah. Well, shit. Anyhow. Joe Brown, $5. Discovery was made after a long absence and it was considered bad. Without Discovery, though, we likely wouldn't have Prodigy or Lower Decks. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Discovery was bad because it was bad. Doesn't matter how long the wait was. We were excited for it. I do remember that.
Also, remember Netflix put most of the money in for Discovery for the first 2 years, so they were gonna get multiple seasons, and Netflix pulled out of several contracts, which then made Amazon have to be the one to take over Picard because Netflix wasn't anymore. Had it been successful, it would have been at home on Netflix, would have kept funding new shows, but that's how bad everything was. And then Amazon dropped Picard, I believe, the third season. I don't think that was on Amazon. I think that was just its own thing. The streamers were not getting what they wanted, or the viewership, whatever. So, that's the thing about multiple season order. Even if the show's terrible, you normally get the 2 seasons, which means, oh dear. And if most of these shows get mostly finished or mostly produced before the first season comes out, which means you can't even course correct. So the same, while you might improve because you've learned, or they can do a lot of editing and reshoots, obviously. Yeah. Yeah, without Discovering we've got Project Low Decks, that is true, but it's like harm to the franchise versus some good, because the overall vibe of Trek is it's such a damaged franchise overall. That's because of the bad stuff, and people didn't watch Project Low Decks, otherwise we'd have had more seasons. So while we loved them, the damage did not give them the viewership, which is obviously going to be a problem with Mandalorian and Grogu. The damage to the franchise is so strong that the reaction to that is going to be hugely mitigated by the damage they've done to their own franchise, which is a shame because, yeah.
Well, Dan says, I believe they canceled the Newsom Star Trek show. That was never a thing to begin with. It was, hey, we might have an idea for you to do a show. Go mention it on this panel that you're doing in 2 seconds. It was never really a thing. So, and there's been no word about it, whether it's going ahead or canceled or whatever. So,
well, I mean, they were getting paid to write it, but I mean, every writer on Star Trek 4 got paid to write their versions, right? That's why a company can burn $100K on just the early versions of a film. Just because, I think Alien 3 had like 6 writers until they got to the original one, and they all got paid. They all got, 3 months salary or whatever to do it. Some more than that. So I don't. what does cancelled mean? It wasn't given a green light to show order. It never was. The concept was liked. They wrote some stuff. I believe they wrote some scripts. But then, obviously, if your company's being bought by someone else, then the lawyers are going to say, we're not going to commission a $10 million project when we haven't had the oversight of it. So any which way, it was always going to be after.
Mm.
It was never going to be, you know, Academy was already being stuff being produced. Because it was made, of course, but it was always going to be after. Unless it was like rushed into production, which obviously it wasn't. Should have been a hell of a rush.
Well, Ray Ricks throws in £5 on PayPal and said, should we love it? No. Should we give it a fair chance? Definitely. I've seen every episode of Discovery at least twice over, though I don't like the show, especially the early seasons. This is to support Trek, but supporting that gets us Section 31. And while this is okay, Legacy would be better. So sick of people bringing up Legacy would be better.
It could also be worse if it was Picard Season 1 quality. You know?
Yeah, Legacy was never really a thing to begin with. It's just something the fans kind of wanted, and they kind of leaned into a little bit. But
well, it was. I mean, ironically, Star Trek Worf was more of a thing because Michael was actively pitching.
Yeah.
Right? Michael Sussman is actively pitching. These are more concepts Terry might have actively pitched to Kurtzman. He obviously said no several times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ray Rick shows in another £5 on PayPal, so thank you, Ray.
Thank you.
He says, I think the characters make this show, and 50% of the episodes have been average. I think the characters make this show, and 50% of the episodes have been average. I feel there is better Trek not being made, more Lower Decks or Prodigy especially. So yes, supporting it, it needs me to do more work to actually like it. I don't actively dislike it. I'm going to be in that camp. It's better. It's an improvement over stuff that they've done before. It's the same creatives behind it that were behind Discovery mainly. I mean, Discovery changed producers every fucking 3 episodes, so that's one of the other reasons that it didn't quite work. Yeah, I don't know. I don't actively dislike this show. There's a lot of things to like about it. There's a lot of things, of course, that, you know, you can find problems with for sure, but it's not as bad as other things we've seen. And I guess it is kind of Stockholm Syndrome a little bit, where it's like, this isn't as bad as it could be. So,
well, we're also not broken records. We're not going to harp on about the same problems in the same way unless there's really big new things. So, of course, if this was the first show of Enterprise, you'd say it was a mediocre at best teen drama that doesn't feel like Star Trek really, except in moments, and it'd be worse than Enterprise, and you wouldn't even question. There'd be no hesitation it's worse than Enterprise. You wouldn't even second thought that, right? It instantly would be the lowest thing. But we've had everything else in between, so it's this giant roller coaster of good, bad, weird, and you know, it's not. Is it the well, that's actually a really good question, actually. And that might be worth doing a live once the season ended. Maybe that would be more like closing lives, you know, when we finish up. Doing a live where we do the ranking of the best of the new treks. Now with this in whatever. And the first half could be our ranking, then the audience ranking. You know, I mean, like, see how they vary each season. Like, or where this fits into the live action Trek reviews. Because just by the nature of how not shit it is, might be like third best season. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
You need.
But yeah,
Right,
if the characters weren't at least watchable and have good moments and be well acted, it would be terrible.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
you know,
the characters have surprised me. I really like all the characters, and I care about where they're going. I didn't expect to like some of them, so that's a good thing.
And it's nice, you know, Enterprise. I've met a lot of the main cast. I'm sure you've met a lot of the main cast. They also are lovely people. They're given so little to do, most of them, but you know they are just nice people trying to do their best. But this show is they're giving everyone stuff to do, so they have more characterization. They're more characters, you know. Travis was less of a character in 10 episodes than anyone in this show is.
Yeah.
You know, that's an indictment on Enterprise, not necessarily positive of this show, which is fine. Just worth noting. Because boy, compare Enterprise, you know.
Robert Buckley throws in $2. He bought one like 5 minutes ago. Good man. Solaris, Long Haul Rail fan, $5. While I consider the 2 seasons as one, considering they are 10 or less episodes. You consider the 2 seasons as one. Oh, 2 seasons of a show? Like this? Okay. I mean, Prodigy had 20 episodes per season. So.
And if you watch it, it had 3 mini seasons in the first season.
God, yeah, that was awful.
That was awful.
Bad decision.
And then the second season had 1 long season. It's just dump. There you go. It's like, how many can you watch in one day, Stuart? I guess 6. Shit. The exact reverse problem. Yeah.
Sussy Guru 2000, member for 52 months at the rank of captain. So thank you, Captain.
Makes all the difference, guys. You guys know.
Currently in season 3 of my TNG rewatch, and the episodes I find more relevant so far is the Shellyak episode and data on a planet. It establishes a weakness of Data, gives him a challenge, and he grows strong solving it. Yeah, absolutely. Go back and watch our reviews of those if you're rewatching TNG, because we did cover up to season 5. Yeah.
End of 5 then, because it was near enough 6. I feel like.
I think we're middle of season 5.
Okay. But it's obviously, any of these shows except DS9. This show, by its premise, is given license to be more dumb, because the Enterprise is the flagship. The level to get there is so unbelievably high, and Voyager is the second and third Intrepid class, one of the most advanced, most clever, most high prestige assignments. So these are going to be the best officers with extreme specialty. And Janeway, I'm sure, handpicked a lot of her crew, and she's a very smart lady, right? So these are exceptional people. Academy is not, and we've definitely, even though they've not said it, you can take clearly they've just sort of accepted more people because of the burn. They just need people. So the standards are far lower, even if the sort of raw skill is there. The overall level of talent is lower than we've seen in any of those other shows, because of course it is, because it's not the flagship, right? Even Discovery, they get away with it a bit more in season 1 because Lorca handpicks his people he knows from his universe, irrelevant to how they are in that universe, which is why you have a cadet being plucked from the academy and being a science officer. It's like, what the hell is she doing there? And Saru, who's a pet, but he can control. I don't know. He's handpicking stupid people who he can control. Hence why, as I'm stupid in his perspective, he's not picking the best, picking people he can corrupt. That's why it's a weird crew, right? That's a fun way of looking at that. And then Pike is that's the best crew, and you have La'an, and they're all exceptional, so that factors in more, right?
Yeah. And I want to just make it clear too that I don't think Sam and I are the biggest fans of Kurtzman at all. I'm certainly not. So it's not like we're trying to justify anything he's done necessarily, but we do look at everything at face value. And it is worth looking at and talking about, and looking at the good and the bad and all of it. So that's what we do here. So we're not trying to support Kurtzman or the new Trek line of thinking, but we did get Lower Decks and Prodigy as a result, and that's really good. Picard season 3 was good. Lots of good came out of this quote unquote new Trek.
But because you're listing the stuff he was not involved in very much.
Exactly.
So that's the list of things he didn't really do much with.
Yeah.
But he directed episodes 1 and 2 of Academy, and they're well directed, and we like the writing pretty much, and so you cannot say he's talentless because he directed those pretty strong episodes. Sorry. At least directorial terms. Although, boy, now seeing later episodes where they have not spent any money anywhere. Yes, let's put 13 dots flying around. How much is it going to cost per? About 14k. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that one. There. All the extras. Yeah. Alien. Rock Talk. Yeah, 12k. Yeah, And then episode 8. Right, we're going to have all the main cast on contract, sit in the main set without lights on and no extras and no other stuff. Any CGI?
Exactly right.
No. Sit in the room. It's going to cost you about $100 an hour. Perfect.
I have a feeling the last episode is going to be full of dots and everybody there again. They definitely did that on certain episodes, but not many of them. So
Yeah, it's intentional. It's just amusing how big the first two felt and how now cheap the first, the current batch feels. Because boy, set reuse or what?
yeah. Dustin Smith Falls Beers fan says, "Was Bobby's death really needed?" I don't know who Bobby was. No, I don't know. You must
Vulcan.
be talking about a different show. His name wasn't Bobby.
I
It
know
was
that.
Bobby. I'm just correcting Dustin.
And I'm playing in so they can have their joke. Ha ha ha.
So I don't know who Bobby is. So I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
I was in Supernatural, wasn't he, Bobby?
I mean, sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Idiots.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't necessary, but neither was Tasha Yar's death. But it was dramatic, and I did not like it in a way that was like, oh, that was effective.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it did show, and it did make me wonder if they're gonna kill Sam because they died, and so it was effective in several ways. You could argue.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Dustin says the Vulcan cadet. Yes, his name was Bavi. B apostrophe AVI. Bavi, not Bobby. Anyway, Ray Ricks throws in 10 pounds
Ooh,
and says,
ooh.
"I think the legacy discussion is important. You're right, never a solid thing that was going to happen, but there was clear opinion in the fan base, which is obviously not being listened to by Kurtzman." Yes, this is true. However, that's the reason we got Strange New Worlds, because Pike showed up in Discovery. People wanted a Pike show. We got a Pike show, and it has been successful. So you can't say that they don't listen to the fans.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think Legacy would have cost a lot more because you got Jerry Ryan, you've got like if you're bringing Q back to John Delancey for anything, I think it was a bigger cast budget because there was
Well,
like,
Strange World's a pretty big budget show, at least the first season.
yeah, but we have legacies that would be in Legacy, and they would demand more of a price tag,
But of
right?
course, no one's watching Stranger Worlds first season for the lady who plays Uhura. No one's tuning in except her friends and family for her. Whereas you will get people just tuning in for Delancey. So obviously, the legacy value comes with an audience that will come with them. So that's the value you're paying for, right?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, but they'd obviously do it selectively anyway. And I'm sure they would, you know, talk the legacies down for slightly cushier,
I would hope so. Yeah.
you know, only mornings and less makeup, and you know, we'll do 2 episodes of voiceover. It's fine.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
But no, but obviously, as although we know how many times we referred to the original season 1 press junket and Kurtzman saying with the lady who's next to him saying, "Oh, then season 1's all going to link up to canon," and the lady's next to him looking like it's sort of blank. I don't know what she's thinking exactly, but it's something along the lines of, "What?
Uh-huh,
Huh?
uh-huh.
Did we reshoot it? What?" He's just saying shit, right? And so when they say that Stranger Worlds was a pitch that Akiva Goldsman had since Discovery, like a pre-Discovery pitch. If that's true, then obviously him pushing it, he's a really good friend of Kurtzman, so that's why that got pushed forward and with the reaction of Discovery's version of Pike. Whereas Legacy, it's the only successful modern Trek, like truly successful, which is going to piss off Kurtzman because he's been the godfather of all of it. So ego's surely to blame for most of why it's not happened. But also, if the company's been sold and whoever's in charge has said we've got one show we can make, we absolutely can't make two, and this is the budget, and you're gonna siphon some way from Section 31 because
Mm-hmm.
we'll give half it to Michelle Yeoh and we'll do the rest. So.
Mark Harrison says people who like Star Trek should start making Star Trek. I agree. Get get your Aaron Waltkeys, get your Mike McMahons.
Wait, who are you quoting?
Mark Harrison. People who like Star Trek should
No,
start making
that's not what
Star
he
Trek.
says. Read it again.
People who like Star Trek should start making Star
Oh,
Trek.
I see. Sorry. Or his other one is yeah.
Yeah, and I agree. But I mean that's why we got Lord X. That's why we got Prodigy, because those are like the hegemons. They love Star Trek. It shows, right?
And Picard season 3, and Picard season 1
Terry
in
Matalas.
theory.
Yeah.
I mean, he loved Star Trek 2. Just been a shit show. And Keith Goldsman does love Star Trek, just his branch of Star Trek.
Yeah.
And Tony Newsom loves Star Trek. She helped. That's the problem. Love, this is why it'd be so difficult for you and I to be in the writers' room for a modern Trek.
Oh yeah.
Because they would just shout us down if we tried to speak up on a lot of things. It's like if I was given genuine veto power of some plot points, like, well, you can't go that far. No, of course you can't go to the system 100 light years away. Done. Scrap that story. That's episode 4. Yeah, I know, but you can't do it. You use a wormhole. Don't use one. Well, like, you can't. Like, you know what I mean? There'd be hard ends of, like, well, that's not how the universe works, or make it make sense, etc. Etc. Yes.
JC Show says, I have mixed feelings about Academy. Some
Mm.
episodes have been really good. Others, yeah, it's like every fucking Star Trek show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, seriously. Every Star Trek show has episodes that people despise or think are really bad. So it's every show. So that's kind of an invalid argument, really. All shows, all television shows in general, more or less, have one or two shit episodes. So
It's just
I mean,
fun.
it's much easier to do when you got 26 episodes a season
Mm-hmm.
with 7 seasons. When you have 10, you should really, kind of curtail and nurture those to be better. So, yeah.
And while I don't believe that the final 2 episodes are back to back, doubly compounded. If the first 2 are one release day, it means you've only got 9 weeks to impress people, and it's already mostly done, and we just started, kind of thing,
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm looking at our just open up our scores, Stuart, and there's some reasonably high metrics here. So we have obviously been a bit beaten into submission with some of these scores because we ain't giving 3s except me one time. And well, you gave it as well, but I gave it even worse than 3. But it's like it'd be so interesting. Not so fun, but to go back and re-review Discovery Season 1 in the same format with the review scores.
Well, we won't be doing that this year because this is the 60th anniversary of Star Trek. So
yes.
We're going to go back and review other things, which might be better and more 60th worthy.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah, tune into our TOS reviews. Damn. So we're hopefully going to do Stuart's first reaction, as ridiculous as that sounds, edited review, and live review at the same time, most times that we can do it. I'm going to approach it like it's new. And if something sucks, I'm going to absolutely call out. I'm going to be as brutal. And it's going to be probably more brutalizing than TNG was. At certain points, all just kind of good. TOS is going to have some more odd extremes. I'm sure like that set piece about it. I don't know, right? So I'm going to see and try and make it as fresh as possible to be as entertaining as possible. I'm tempted to even put like a disclaimer at the start of each video saying this is being approached if it's a real first reaction review. Do not, the big pinch of salt of this show,
Tune in for those guys. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the like button.
So if you don't watch them, we'll stop doing them. So do watch them because, don't know what's doing if you guys will watch them.
Yeah, hit the notification button. Make sure you hit the like button. We have 40 likes. We have 60 of you here. Let's get those likes up to 50. But yeah. Okay. So here. Sussy Guru 2000 throws in 10 euros. I might have been more charitable with this show if they did the anime thing and established the class with the main cast as the class that has all the misfits that need extra help. So like the remedial class. Starfleet Academy short bus. It's really awful that I said that. Sorry.
And it's funny because had they stuck with the idea that they were doing an academy and the academy was going to be always on the move, a roving academy, so every episode was in space, every episode a new planet, that probably would have served it better. Just the semblance of being out doing something has worked for the most part. Those are the best episodes versus the San Francisco. And let's not leave the walls of this fucking set at all, even though we're right fucking here.
Even when they're on Earth and they can go like to New Orleans to the Cisco Museum, they chose not to. So
you can beam anywhere on Earth, fly 2 cast members to play Antarctica for a weekend and shoot there, cause you can. You're on Earth.
Yeah.
Hey, we're in some. Can you imagine? Right? I know it's just the film Jumper, but can you imagine an episode in season 2 when someone steals a Academy communicator tricorder comm badge, and they're being chased by, I guess, the Jem'Hadar lady, or that might be a bit too. Maybe someone else, maybe Caleb, and they're just beaming different locations on the planet, and it's all real sets because it's just they shoot like one guy with the camera, one sound guy, the 2 actors. They just fly. They don't have to do big setups. They just fly and shoot, and there's this amazing chase, all the same sequence, because you're on Earth. You know, go to Machu Picchu, go to the Great Wall. You know, that'd be cool.
Go to Toronto. Go to the CN Tower. Oh wait, they're already there.
Sure.
Ray Rex throws in £5. Also, just random post due to being overexcited about Vegas. Bakula announced today. I've been chasing that photo for years. Happy for you, man. Wish we could go this year. I don't think we're going to be able to. So, 'tis a shame. You see,
it's a sweet, sweet sorrow. For sure. Yeah, that's gonna be yeah, he'd definitely want to get.
Yeah.
Yep.
BJ, $5. Star Trek has suffered from not having a long-term organization like Lucasfilm to help oversee and guide it. They held JJ back on some dumb ideas. Yes, well, JJ could have done a lot more, a lot worse, and a lot more damage for sure. The problem is that the new thinking is, I don't want anybody that's worked on Star Trek before to work on this show. That started with 09. Luckily, thank God, John Eves got in there, and we did have some Star Trek Legacy people in the background. But even with the new shows, it's like Kurtzman's one of his mandates is I don't want people that have written or know anything about Star Trek to be writing for the show, which is an incredibly stupid idea with a franchise like Star Trek. But whatever, right? Again, it shows in the quality of the shows. Mike McMahon was a Star Trek fan. Aaron Waltke and the Hageman, Star Trek fans. Like Terry Metalis, huge Star Trek fan. Guess what? Their shows, their seasons were the best. So, yeah, I don't understand the whole not wanting somebody that's worked on Star Trek to be there. It's just stupid.
And mild vent for a second here on the Vegas.
Go for it.
In theory, it's the agent that determines what people charge. Although you could also demand to charge less, right? But if your agent's telling you charge this, okay, fine. They got one person for Academy going, right? They got Genesis, right?
Genesis?
She'll have 10 episodes under her belt before it, and she's not in 5 of them very much, right?
Yeah.
The price she is being charged for is $70.
I was gonna guess 80.
So that is one of those premium people they're going. Anthony Montgomery, who's right next to that, in the like $50 for 4 seasons of Enterprise. He was in 100+ episodes. I mean, that is absolutely absurd. You know, Casey Biggs, 45, who's in more episodes. I mean, Brent Spiner's 80. Brent Spiner's in 7 years of TNG, all the movies, and he's $10 more than Genesis. Now, I know she's new, but that is an absurd agent who's doing that for her. I mean, she's going to make thousands and thousands, but that feels really brutal. Imagine being Anthony Rapp, who's also there, 80. He's, thinking, well, really? I'm worth $10 more. I was in 5 seasons. I've all this work for years. I've been in the franchise for 8 years. She's been in it for 2 years. I mean, Shatner's 165.
I would make the argument. I would make the argument that Genesis is a more developed character than Mayweather at this point. Mayweather was not a great character.
Sure, but I certainly like him more because he's like an uncle who's in my life for years. She's some girl I just met. That's James Conrell, movie actor, $80.
Wow.
You know, I mean the repertoire. RoboCop, Peter Weller, $80. I mean, huge repertoire, $10 more. I mean, that sort of differential. I mean, he shouldn't be 200, right? Of course, but she should be 40. You know. Yeah,
it's interesting because
Troy Newson 60,
charging 70. If you charge 40, then you'd make it twice as many people and equal out kind of thing. I don't know. That's interesting.
Troy Newson, who's the head of the hero of Lower Decks 5 years, 60. I know that just feels, because if they're discerning that, then her agent said you're worth it. Now I get it, if that's her first event, that is generally a bonus. You're the first people getting it. I get that, but that is a really high premium for a. If it was Caleb, maybe, you know what I mean, the lead of the show kind of thing. Oh, that annoys me a little bit.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Apparently, Bella has been in other shows before. She has better name recognition, says Thribs.
What
Better
than
than
Peter Weller?
Cornwall?
Than Peter Weller, RoboCop,
Yeah.
a generational talent.
At least it's not $400 for an autograph, $800 to sign something bulky, like fucking Harrison Ford and Christopher Lloyd. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, but the argument of that is that if you made it affordable, his lines would be so long you just couldn't get anything signed because his lines would be all day, and if you the chance of you getting it would be so
I mean,
low.
that's a very good point. Yeah.
That's why Mark Hamill's 500 an autograph, because then if you want it, you can get it 100%, but most people can't get it.
Yeah.
And he's, I mean, he does one event a year maybe, because there was a convention I went to where they had some people from Rooster Teeth, and they were doing free because they're just people, and they were so busy that they were my one tip I was trying to go and see, and I couldn't see them because they were a line for a line, and they said there was a post after it they were doing, because they were free, right? So everyone was lined up to see them. They were there from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. The event closed at 5. They were there
Yeah.
past people closing down because they stopped the line at 5, and there's a further 2 hours of line. I mean, they were talking, but like that because they were free. So everyone, whereas if they were £50 to see them, you know. So there is an argument. It's just hurtful and sad. But I mean, who wouldn't meet Mark Hamill for $50? Right?
Yeah. Well, Sergeant Montgomery throws in $2 and says, hire Trekyards as consultants. Yes. Although, as Sam said, I don't think we'd be very happy in the writer's room necessarily.
It's more likely fire Trekyards as consultants.
Yeah. These guys are assholes. They won't let us do anything we want to do.
They
It
make
doesn't
us
make sense, they
sense.
said.
They make us check our work.
Oh. Yeah.
Gosh, can you mean 24-year-old actress who I've never heard of and charging $70 for an autograph?
Thrib says, that's what happened with RDA at the
Mm-hmm.
Basingstoke convention.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who's RDA?
Richard D. Anderson.
Oh, Richard D. Anderson. Okay.
Yeah. You know, did two very famous shows. He was the lead of both. Well loved 80s, 90s, 2000s, and then retired. And you know, if you can charge, you know, I know he's also quite slow at signing, so he'll actually want to talk to you, which is the other problem. If they know their talent is slow,
Yeah.
then you can only do so many. And then because again, if do you want to disappoint the 300 waiting, just the 100 up front can get a thing. Yeah, it's a yeah. There's an event here with Mel Gibson.
Mhm.
Right? And he was, I'm gonna say 100 for a photo shoot, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And he was sat down, and I think he did 3,000 photo shoots in a day, or maybe the whole weekend. It was absurd. But every single picture is him like this, and they're just cycling in and out. It's because there's 2,000 people waiting, so just to get your picture of him, he can't do anything. He can't interact, and obviously he's just dying inside a little bit. But I mean, 3,000 times 150, he's made, you know, $250,000 or whatever. I don't know, that's, you know, a lot of money. So, oh no, what a shame they made 900 an hour. What a shame. Well, that was like 5,000 an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Royston S. Bailey throws in $10. It says, regardless of Starfleet Academy's quality, I will say that Kurtzman and Secret Hideout have earned the bad faith and bad blood. The orgy of hate around Starfleet Academy is a result of their conduct from day one. They despise Trekkies. Yeah. They have lost a lot of good faith with people to the point where people just automatically write off anything they do that's live action well, anything, honestly. So you're absolutely right. I don't know if they despise Trekkies. I don't know if that's just, it's interesting to me. Like, Trekkies are your bread and butter. They're your fans. Why would you deliberately go against them?
But the problem is, which Trekkies? The 60s Trekkies, the 80s Trekkies, the 90s Trekkies, the 2009 Trekkies?
Doesn't matter. A real Trekkie is a Trekkie. They like everything.
Some people still watch DS9, right?
Oh, that's stupid.
I agree. It's unfortunately it's a broad brush, which is why Stranger will work so well, because it just a general Trek vibe, and it's the most bland of the radical styles.
Yeah.
But then, and then ironically, when it gets more radical, then you have the dislike and whatever. That's what people say. Oh, season 3 is even worse. So, well, no, some of it. It's personal preference, right?
Mm. Royston S. Bailey, $2. Your
Oh.
reviews I trust the most. Fair and balanced. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate that. We do try to go for that. So
And as you saw from last week, different opinions. We still could have a nice discussion and get through it, and different opinions, so you can't get more balanced than seeing both of the opinions.
yes, yeah. And I assure you, neither one of us has been paid off by anybody, because that would be great, but we haven't.
Yeah. I also, don't. I just don't see the point of lying in reviews. I, I remember even one time we knew Aaron Bulk, he was going to watch the review. I remember thinking, is this a bit too harsh? I didn't say one thing was
Yeah,
a little bit
same.
harsher, but I was like, yeah, but I still need to be truthful. And I don't
Yep.
know, yeah.
We've done that multiple times, even with designers. Like, I don't like this design, you know, whatever. Yeah, we don't kiss ass, as it were. So,
But also, most of the time we'll say things that even if they don't agree with, they can understand. How many
yes.
things are put in Trek or just in practical production where there's a reason for that? I mean, I get people bitching my fan films for various reasons, and often it's, well, I didn't have money for that, or always like someone complained they've got the wrong bad TOS thing, like, well, I haven't got 2 uniforms that fit the guy. I'm not gonna get a separate uniform that's $180, get custom things just for one scene. Like, I'm not gonna
Unless
high
you want to
quality
support
cost.
my videos and pay for it.
But even so,
Yeah.
it's not worth the budget for one uniform for one scene, right? It's not worth it on anyway. I'd rather spend that on a shoot or on a new uniform. Some things need.
I know.
No, I know.
I'm just,
Yeah,
yeah, and try to address the people that say that kind of
yeah.
shit. They're probably people that haven't even donated to help your fan films anyway,
Mm-hmm,
so they have no fucking right to talk anyway.
mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's fine if they were like $50 uniforms, but when you have high standards, it's like you can't. It. You know.
Hmm. Yeah. Let's see. We got Eric Martin. Ooh, Eric Martin showed up. Good to see you, Eric.
Eric.
It was in $10. It seems to be a trend where important franchises are placed under the control of people who don't like or understand the source material. So much wasted potential.
Huh,
Yeah,
huh.
it seems like this has already got a great fan base. So let's not cater to the fan base that exists. Let's try to bring in new people and do new ideas. Sure, it might ostracize some of the older fans, but they'll still pay for the merchandise from the old stuff, which we have license over. Hmm. Yeah, that seems to be the thinking. And sure, I guess that might work. Um, Building yourself a future fan base, but don't ostracize the old fans. You can do both. You can create new shows that'll bring in new people and also satisfy the existing fans as well.
Like Stranger Worlds, mostly. Some.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Some. Well, it's like when Star Wars had the big campaign of the Force is female, and it's like, why isn't it for everybody? It was always
Yeah.
for everybody. There's loads of female Star Wars fans before. You sort of like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, they don't seem to be in touch with the people. Like they're on these high pedestals, these producers and people making decisions. They don't understand what people really want. They think they're looking at like the broader picture of we need to be exclusivity and we have to like make sure that everybody feels represented. It's not, and that's important, but at the same time, it's not shouldn't be your only focus, you know? And Star Trek's always been good at incorporating that kind of stuff since the 60s. I
So
don't
it's
know.
very famous for.
You could say that, yeah.
Uh, just a bit odd.
Bryson said George Lucas made Star Wars for boys, but it became was what it became because it was mostly for a boys thing. What? I just hate that George Lucas says it was made for kids. It wasn't made for kids. I think that came later because of the toy sales specifically. Um,
Yeah, I'd be
That's just
shocked if he made it for boys. That's half. You don't tend to cut off half the demographic of the planet. He made it
yeah,
for everyone, but boys tend to like action things more. But there's
yeah.
loads of hardcore Star Wars fans, and most of those Star Wars fans that are on YouTube or whatever, they like it for the previous stuff, not for the new stuff. So therefore, the old stuff got them. Um, yeah, that's just action's more innately male orientated. But Leia was fantastic. The Moth was fantastic. Good females, etc., etc. But it's funny. You said Stuart a minute ago about people not knowing what people want, but then things like the prequels, you almost universally derided at the time and now appreciated far more.
Yep,
Although still not great films, of course. But so
yep.
he
The
he
people
didn't.
that grew up with them look back on them fondly now, and they have voices now because they have YouTube channels. Like fucking Star Wars Theory is a perfect example.
That
He
is his
would
jam.
suck.
Yeah.
He would suck Anakin's dick if he could. Like he loves the Anakin story. It's his thing. It's what he grew
Mhm.
up with. Classic Trek is or classic Star Wars is just kind of it's fine. But the prequels, that's where it's at. Anakin's story. It's like
It's funny because I grew up on the originals, but obviously I'm young enough to be the prequels. But I saw everything in release order. Like I was brought up on TOS and then TNG and then
mhm.
which is good because that's the order that was made. It's like I made sure Marie watched TOS first, not anything new, although she saw stuff with us. But like watching the correct order, because you
Yeah.
see the franchise evolve. That's why I would never encourage to watch. I know Sam Witwer has who's more uh, like a story order, and if you save episode 3 until after episode 4, you get the reveal of Vader without the spoil of Vader, and then you get the prequel of how he became Vader after you know he's Vader. So you get to see him
Yeah.
as the
Yeah. Yeah.
young kid, and then the monster, and then know it, which is more thematically powerful. But then you see the difference in technology and the disconnect. It's a very interesting way of looking at it, but it would remove the evolution because New Hope is fun,
Yeah.
bigger, 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 different way, bigger, different way, bigger, different way. I still would watch it as
Yeah.
it was made.
And the thing is with the prequels as well, like now we've seen the fucking sequels. The
Mm-hmm.
prequels still feel like George Lucas. With all their
Mm-hmm.
flaws, they're George Lucas flaws.
Mm-hmm.
And they
Mm-hmm.
still have that unique element and touch to each movie that makes it Star Wars. Anyway.
Well, and also the art design. I mean,
Yeah.
how many ships are as iconic as the Naboo cruisers or the Gungan ships? Gungan, all these things. But Stuart, speaking of things, I asked you a poll almost an hour ago. 94 votes.
Nice.
Is it better to? And the two options were have no shows versus bad shows, or have bad shows with the hope of good. And 72% say have no shows versus bad shows. Which, while I wouldn't want to say that dramatically, I have often said no Trek is better than bad Trek because
Yes.
bad
Bad
Trek
Trek
hurts the brand.
ruins. Yeah. Hurts the brands, ruins legacies of characters, and so forth. Yes. Yeah. Hit like guys, we still not at 50 likes. There's 69 of you here. 69. And we only have
Giggity.
48 likes. So hit that like button. We can probably get up to 60 likes, but at least I want to get to 50. So hit that like button to get us 2 more. It'd be great.
And Stuart, read the poll as well and be honest about it. Don't just say what we want to hear. Be brutally honest, right? That's the point of
Was
polls.
Star Wars George's first three made for boys or everyone? Well, the thing is, they're just modern mythology. They take the mythological tales and heroes from the past
Mm-hmm.
and just paint them with a new brush. So they're the same stories, which are made for everyone. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, of course, the irony is it's a better example of my fan films are made for Star Trek fans more than their general audience because how the hell can you watch a Picard era story which has flashbacks to TNG and reference a show that you couldn't possibly get anything if you've not seen the Treks? But obviously, I'm appealing to a subset of a subset, right? So they can be very specialized. I hope they're well acted and well directed and well edited pieces of media, but you can't hope to get them unless you've seen the shows. But also, I'm not making general films. Now, a couple of them are just general stories. You could do sci-fi, but of course, they're Star Trek episodes of fan creation, not separate media, right?
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. Bryson Bailey says solo director Ron Howard shares the one piece of advice George Lucas gave him about making a Star Wars movie. Don't forget it's for 12-year-old boys. Bullshit. I really don't. I disagree with that 1,000%. There's some pretty hard story beats in there for 12-year-olds to understand, as well as
It
just
was
people getting the shit cut off like arms and
it
hands.
was a different time, but Empire is not for 12-year-old people.
Oh,
Across the board, it's not for 12-year-olds.
yeah.
And also,
There's romance. There's
and
yeah.
Leia in a bikini is not for 12-year-old boys either. That's
I
too
mean,
sexual.
it is.
Not for
It
12-year-old,
is.
15-year-olds, fine, but not 12-year-olds. That's really
Well, those
inappropriate.
12-year-old boys grow up into 15-year-olds.
Exactly, but not then.
I'm just
And
saying.
certainly, Phantom Menace is not made for 12-year-old boys. The politics of it is too boring for 12-year-old boys.
Oh, fuck
So
yeah.
certainly isn't. So how many is that? What, 3? Now, and also the Ewoks. Boys don't want cuddly toys the same way girls do. Are Ewoks made for boys, or more for cuddly toys for girls?
I had a stuffed bear with my mom knitted a little Wicket hood for it, and I named him Wicket after Return of the Jedi. So I mean,
Well, it's more both, but I wouldn't say
just saying.
bears are necessarily more a boy thing than a girl thing. So it's not 12-year-old boys, right?
Yeah.
That'd be the Action Man stuff. Yeah.
Hamron says, "What hurts the brand is when you have someone writing and airing non-Star Trek Star Trek. That is better than Potsman Trek. Cough, cough. Orville, cough." Don't get me wrong. Seth MacFarlane is a huge Star Trek fan and would have been fantastic as being in charge of Star Trek. Like Orville proves it. Those are new episodes of TNG essentially, and their storylines, their look, their cinematography, everything about them.
That last season was
Yes.
very expensive Star Trek episodes as well, because they are all full-length movies.
Yep. So, and he put in a bid to get Star Trek, and he got denied. So, would have been awesome to have Seth MacFarlane in charge, but oh, you can't have that. He actually likes Star Trek, so why would we want him in charge?
But
And
he's
if he
but
if he had gotten in
MacFarlane.
charge, we wouldn't have got the Orville.
Well, that's true. MacFarlane is a very odd fellow. He's kind of
Yes.
like James Cameron. He got so much clout and so much success and so much money that he could just say no to people. So if he was in a writer's room so let's say he was given a showrunner job by Kurtzman, right? Like Kurtzman was technically his boss. Seth MacFarlane would probably be say, "No, Alex, I'm not doing that. And of course I'm not doing this. No, it's my show," and just stop and just say no. Whereas most people can't say no because they're like, I mean, Seth MacFarlane has one of the biggest. I mean, he's created in essence 40 seasons of TV. How many movies? I mean, his box office. You know, if you look at money, he's brought in maybe $1 billion combined, right? Very successful, and for the most part, critically acclaimed across the board, which is kind of rare. Kind of rare, right? And I like him in Ways Down the West. I think it's a great film. It's very clever and dumb, but dumb clever.
Yeah. Devo says, but I think people would start to call the Orville woke when it starts getting into later seasons. Okay, I just hate the term woke, first of all. It's a modern term that just is silly. There was a lot of stories in the Orville which I think a lot of people might have been offended by, but I honestly didn't give a shit because they were great stories, like Bortus and his male, all male Mocklins, right? Like I'm surprised people weren't all fucking up in arms about that. I mean, I'm sure they were, but
well, we were there, and I do not remember an active dislike because I think the stories were all better told. So even if you didn't love that, him and what's the husband's name?
Crichton.
Nope,
not Crichton. Begins with a K.
Yeah.
I'll look it up while you talk.
Yeah, because I don't remember there being oh my god, our lead character is a gay alien. And the two husbands, it's like, they're both well acted, both interesting characters, really good makeup.
Clyden.
Yeah, I mean, yes, the
there.
gender change child subplot, that was a thing. But also it died down pretty quickly as far as I can recall, because the story itself was well told, blah, 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 which is more the TNG.
Yes.
Tell it well, Again, if Section 31 was a good film, you can forgive it for being not so bad Star Trek. Similarly, if it's great Star Trek, you can forgive it for being less of a good film, right? As in for us fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a lot of the Prodigy episodes. They weren't necessarily the best episodes of TV, but they were really trying hard to be good Trek, and that kind of like ups the score either way because they just can't, you know, the other things pulling them back. It's not necessarily whatever.
All right.
Yeah, Mocklins are funny. Boy, do you remember that Orville being filmed in January 25?
Yeah, I
Boy,
remember that. I remember that announcement.
remember they must have sort of shot. I'm obviously joking now. So obviously finished filming season, whatever season they got to, and should be released any time now because I mean it's been a year, well over a year now.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I don't know. Was he drunk when he said that? Because
No, I think he probably got confirmation that something was happening, and then it all changed. That's what I think happened.
Yeah, but confirmation only comes from they've already built sets because those things take months to build, and it was only 4 months away.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know Seth's busy with Ted season 2, which is now coming out. I'd imagine the chance of it coming of Orville after season 2 of Ted is more likely. You know, he got to have a couple of year break. And they predate the LED walled tech kind of. So you can probably make that show a lot cheaper now.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Jankware throws in $10.
Thanks so much.
It says, "What is on everyone's Starfleet Academy end of season bingo cards?"
That's a great question. It's a great question.
Well, I'm assuming we're going to see Caleb's mom, and of course, new Spraka back again. It's going to be some kind of link or tie between the two of those, possibly even Caleb's mom being new Spraka's boss. I don't know. It's going to be a twist. I'm pretty sure. We got to find out what stolen tech they got from that secret starbase. I don't know. It's a good question. It's a very good question, and I'm sure we'll do a finale speculation video before the final episode, perhaps. Especially if it's a two-parter thing, but I don't know if it will be. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, before I start speculating, are we assuming it's a cliffhanger at the end of season 1 or not?
No, it's going to be the end of the school year. I don't think it's going to be anything massive. I really don't.
When you know you have 2 seasons, best way to give anticipation for season 2 is a cliffhanger, right?
Maybe. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, certainly the mum, and I would assume that she's some high-level pirate or criminal who absolutely took it to heart, everything, you know, and she either chose not to get Caleb back or can never find him, either one causing negativity. And so she's going to come back with some level of scars or cybernetic component or, you know, some brutalistic element that'll make her look mean. And she'll
come back in the body of Fred.
Yeah. That'd be a twist. Cheaper to film. That guy's much cheaper than Hulk Girl? No, She-Hulk. So yeah, so I would not be surprised if she attacks the Academy. She kidnaps Caleb. Part of me says they'll do some sort of time travel element because that's not been done yet, and they try and steal time travel tech because she wants to go back and stop them from separating them, and so you might get them going back in time. And it would be a fun. I say fun. Again, this is bingo, right? If the time travel tech, because it's banned, so you could argue it's in that facility, to go back and kill Arke to stop them from losing. So, but it'd be a distinct time paradox creation. So she would be universe. So she'd go back with all of her future knowledge to that past moment, kill Arke, take her son, and her old self, send them off into a good place. Her now be a crime lord with Braka in that past, Arke dead. And then because of lanthanite time shit nonsense like Guinan, they have to go back in time and stop it. And and that's why the sets exist, and they'll have like a double. That if I was going Star Trekian, I'd do that. too big and too bold. It wouldn't use any of the cast really, because why? But there'd be a version, right?
Mm.
It's too big for the show, though. It's too big for the show.
I totally forget what I was going to say because you kept talking.
Sorry, I just want to finish the thought.
That's okay. I think her words are going to come back in some way because she did say don't trust them.
Yeah.
Last thing she said to Caleb. And it's going to revolve around Aki, I'm sure. Because right now it's Aki's a mom figure more so than, you know. And if we find out that her mom was actually, or Caleb's mom was the not so innocent in the whole killing and requiring of food situation with Moose Braca. It's going to be mom versus mom, I think, for Caleb to choose a side, and he's probably going to end up. It's going to be one of those like I want to pick my real mom because it's my real mom, but in the end, he's going to end up choosing Aki and the trust of Starfleet and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know how it's going to play out, but. Mark Lawrence says, on my card, a mention of the most important person in Starfleet history, Miles O'Brien. Yeah.
Or Michael Burnham. I could see Discovery coming in.
I think so, yeah.
And because, you'd open up the plot. For example, they Braca uses the weapon, a weapon in the Gamma Quadrant or something, and it's causing absolute giant subspace tears. And they're like, the only ship in range, the only ship we can get there is Discovery. And so we see, the exterior ship come in, and Burnham beams in, has a scene. It feels like a moment because she's one of the most celebrated people in Starfleet currently. And then we, for example, or we have Caleb in a shuttle in Discovery's shuttle bay. Again, there's things we can do because the assets exist, and they launch. So we do get Discovery. You can do something without having the sets anymore, kind of thing. Be very easy-ish to do.
Dustin says, are the Lanthanites directly related to the Elorians?
Not remotely.
I don't believe so at all. No.
As far as we know, and we know nothing. Jon Snow. Because it's either going to be really small and cheap because they use all the money, or it's going to be oddly big.
I think it's going to be oddly big. There's a reason that they've been oddly cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Dan says an original premise of the show was one of the students finding out a fellow class member was related to the main villain, and they didn't tell them. I mean, I could see that still happening. Somebody being related to Noose Braca. Possibly.
Well, the original twist was, as we said, the lady's the main villain.
Yeah.
And then obviously because she's not been talked about. There's no setup for that. As I remember now, you said a minute ago about the fight of the mums, right? Who do you pick?
Yeah.
But we've had no building of the mum and him rapport. There is no.
But you don't need it, because he's been years looking for her. 15 years of my mom, who was taken away from me. My mom, like, basically built her up in his mind that no matter what, as long as he finds her, she's going to be a good person, right?
I would say good writing dictates they do need it. But that's not necessarily what they're intent on.
Well, I disagree with that. I think when somebody is taken away like that, you build them up in your mind to be something more important than they are. And then you meet them and they turn out to be a huge disappointment.
Oh, no, I meant for the audience, the actual TV audience watching. To only appear in one scene in the first episode, and then to have that choice the last episode. There's nothing in between. There's been zero setup of any kind. So,
it's good though, because everybody was complaining that he was a mommy's boy with mommy issues, and I'm glad they didn't play into that.
Yeah, but if you're doing something that leads into that, you tend to want to set up in any meaningful way, just to kind of imply, because that's what it was. You said that was the setup, right? That Starfleet can't be trusted. Well, they have been trustworthy. They've done great things. He's been good with them. If you were going very literal, you'd have some sort of twist whereby they betrayed him in a very deep core way, or right, maybe that they actually did capture the mum in the second episode, and Aki knew, or Vance knew, and she's actually been on Earth the entire time, begging to see them, and she's in chains, and for whatever a more specific reason than just because, right? And it's like, because that would be enough motivation for you to believe and say, well, he's going on the warpath, right? You kept, all
Well,
because she's.
that ties in with the never trust them,
Mhm.
and Aki being back then basically sentencing her to life in prison.
Yeah.
Like it all ties together, yeah.
Or Vance not telling Archie to make, but he's nice. He's not a bad one. That would be such a shame for the character to kind of do that. Although he's just following his rule, the law. But that would be such a shame because you really need to pay off that moment. I'm not against it being a 2-season arc for that because it's the premise of the show. But also, right,
Yeah.
mid. But yeah, I could see that being the twist that she's currently in prison. Maybe the Starfleet they were going to release her, but they realized that she's connected, like we said earlier, and so she break. Oh, actually, that'd be good to start with episode 10. She breaks out of prison on Earth. There's this great scene where she like does a Black Widow style, gets out of prison. She beats up guards, she disintegrates a couple, and then she gets to the edge of the prison, which we think is this big like moon prison, and she destroys the door, walks out, and it's San Francisco. And it's like, oh, and she doesn't know where she is. She's like, I'm on Earth, and we weren't thinking, oh my god. And there's like some text saying 9 months ago. You make it very direct that she was being here for 9 months, and that would be so brutal to say you were literally within like a mile of her the entire time, because that would be the ultimate betrayal, wouldn't it? That would be a pretty strong way of doing it, but you have to justify it. But there's been no setup for that.
She's on Alcatraz. They keep showing Alcatraz in the beginning. It's fucking prison.
That would be actually even better. Yeah, literally. Yeah. Or Baraka rescues her from it, and it's like you were there the entire time, because that would be a good betrayal. It would be an interesting thing. With justification, she's genuinely been part of his organization for years. There've been faked files for years. This is really a big deal. We can't let her out. She's too dangerous. Blah blah blah, blah blah.
Yeah.
Would that be good? Would you like that?
No. It seems a little too writing on the wall ish. I want something better than that, but I can see them going that way. Absolutely.
I don't think it's bad though. I think depends how
It
it's
can
handled.
be. Yeah,
Oh
depends
yeah,
how it's handled.
can be.
Ozzy has gifted 5 Trekyards
Oh.
memberships. So welcome Dan Holyfield,
Oh,
Ren
welcome.
Ren 2KN, Johnny 577, Alex Taylor, and Nerf Commando to the channel. And then Jankware gifted 10 Trekyards memberships.
Oh shit.
So thank you.
Wow.
And welcome Dave Anthuris, Kyle Lloyd, Headroom, Jiffy Pop, Rationally Skeptical, Soft Odin, Tim Dog, and Mark Lawrence. Oh no, Mark Lawrence, sorry. He just commented.
Mark Lawrence has joined for a third time.
Blinks, Andy Miller, and Alexander, that person. Welcome to the channel, all you guys. Holy shit, that was a lot.
Wow, our numbers will be heavily inflated now. Excellent. Cool. We'll put emojis in. Make your presence felt. Say hi, etc., etc.
Dan Ben says, "Do you think this season 1 final episode will have a mid or post credit scene?"
Ooh.
Yes, I think a post credit scene for sure would be cool.
Yeah, you definitely need something. I also wouldn't be surprised. Is what I would do. So I guess I would be surprised if they had a season 2 trailer at the end of season 1, fully filmed, right?
I'm not going to do that.
Or at least a teaser, right? Because they never, except Strange Worlds, they never shot the next season. Because remember, we did get a season, we did get footage from the next season during season 3 because they'd filmed it, and then we had season 3 Picard teaser announced to the crew when season 2 was being on because it was such a clusterfuck. So it's not unprecedented, right? Especially if there's they have a legacy back of some kind to get people excited, next season on Stranger Worlds, and Tuvok walks in. It's like, what?
Mark Harrison says having him as a big bad would be cool. And then the next comment he says is, Christ, what an asshole. Who are you talking about? Mark.
Excellent. Keep voting the poll, guys. 51 votes, let's get 55. And I'll put something else up. Keep voting. Oh, what if Caleb's mum is working with Section 31 in deep cover? No, no Section
Section
31.
31. No,
Keep it
no
away from
religion.
me. No,
Yep.
no. Yeah, if Section 31 exists in this era properly, then they've got time travel, they've got other versions of Slipstream that just no, it's fine. Just don't need them. Don't
Section
need
31 was a good premise until it wasn't.
them.
And then after it wasn't, it got overused. So,
Well, overused poorly as well.
yes.
Yeah. But Stuart, have we
Mm.
convinced you that you should love this show, as is the premise of the live, to love it, and to love it is to know is to love it, etc., etc.
Indeed. Indeed.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I just love the discussions we have here. So,
although I guess a side question which just occurred to me. Uh, what do you love about this show?
me?
Yeah, as in specifically, if you had to say something you loved about this show for any particular reason, what would you say?
Uh, like I
And
said, I like all
they can
the
be the smallest things, right?
characters.
Can be the
Yeah,
smallest stuff.
I like all the characters. I like that they're all likable,
But
even the
love,
assholes.
love though, that extreme.
I'm
Because
getting
we
there.
like lots of stuff, but love.
I'm getting there. Uh, do I love? I don't know if there's anything that stands out to me to love about this show. There's a lot I like about it, but love is a little extreme. I'm
Hence they
thinking, I'm
ask.
trying.
Yeah.
Oh, bringing the Furies into it.
Mm.
What? Yeah, going to be doing a whole thing about that. So that was cool, but they're not going to be revisited. I don't think. It was just nice to bring them in. Do I love it? I mean, yes, because I like the original Star Trek Invasion books, but other than that, I can't think of anything I love that jumps out at me. Like I like the characters. I like Jay Dan. I didn't know if I would. I think he's a great character.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
everybody has, I care about all the characters, which is hard for me. The only one I don't like is the little Romulan in Little War College, but she's just proof that the actress is doing her job properly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think I love anything in particular about this. I like the idea that the Doctor's back. I like Aki as a character. She's probably the closest thing to an element that would say that I kind of love. I like her. I just like her character and the way she handles things. But love, I'm sorry, I don't think I can say I love anything about it. What about you? Is there anything that sticks out to you instantly as something you love?
I was thinking while you were talking, I was using that little vamp time to,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
consider. Um, although Mark says, don't watch the show, do watch your breakdowns. Good man. / watch the show as well. This is a slight cheat, but is what came to mind. I think I do love Vance in general. For his overall multi-year,
Yeah.
but he's not quite as good in this as the other ones. He feels a little bit older, but I do think I love his characterization, as performance, as costume, and as vibe. Because he's one of such a standout as the last 10 years of a new character that's fresh and new, and I think I would say love him as a character. If we're looking for something, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And for me, love just
Yeah,
means really, really high like, right? That in this context, not love as in
yeah,
anything, specifically just the highest rank of like. I love Voyager, I love Enterprise D sets,
yeah.
I love Data. These are the Doctor, Seven, Janeway. These are all extreme. I love the
Hmm.
the um
But I think,
the Astrometrics Lab in Voyager. I think it's a really good
yeah,
set. I love that
I think
set,
it's really telling that when we can't think of anything we specifically love about this show, and the thing that you love came from Discovery.
which is funny in itself. That's
It's
why.
gross, dirty.
But that's why I said it.
Um, I'm still. I
Uh
mean,
huh.
even the ship, the Athena, I think is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love it necessarily. Um,
Which has also only been in 3 episodes because she's been on the planet in establishing shots that are now being repeated. It's not even in it very much as a ship, right? I
I
do
don't even
love.
love. I don't even love any of the Cisco stuff because it's just underbaked. It just wasn't
Mm-hmm.
where it should have been. You know.
It was a delicious. It was a delicious souffle that fell.
Yeah.
I do love the attention to detail in some aspects. The Excacomp and Rock Talk. I do love that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I thought
that's true. Yeah. Yeah. Those are nice
they
little.
were low elements. They were great, but again, that's entirely old show stuff, right?
Yep.
Entirely old show based. Oh, this is a backhanded compliment. I love the fact I don't hate the characters
Yes. Yes.
because they
That's a
should have been
testament.
annoying.
It's a testament to some kind of good writing somewhere there.
Yep.
So,
But
gotta give
it
them
would
that.
be really interesting. I'm not going to do it because I haven't got time or effort. But it would be really interesting to make a different trailer for season 1 that was not the one they made. That did not highlight the silliness, right? That focused on the Star Trek elements. Can you make a trailer that makes the show look good that did not have those stuff in it, right?
Yeah.
I think you definitely could.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Scott Bakula's my dad says a few people have asked if you guys are going to review JDFX Battle of Wolf 359. What are your thoughts? We don't tend to review fan film stuff, really.
Even though I've released 37.
Yeah. I mean, that's more us because there's a lot of ships in that, but probably not.
Yeah, I mean, it's also not new anymore. Yeah, it's been out for a while. And it is great across the board. It's very clever. Taken, what, 2 years to make? You know, if I took 2 years
Here's
to
your
make
review.
one... Yeah, yeah. If I took 2 years to make one thing, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, very good. Very, very good.
People keep asking about Lieutenant or Ensign Pickford, the one that swallowed her comm badge. She's not been seen since the end of the episode, so she's not a main character. She's been a very tertiary character in like 3 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yeah, we're Starfleet's not for everybody. I hope it ends with this, like her kind of deciding not to be a part of Starfleet at
Mm-hmm.
the end of this season,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's be perfectly acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
it'd be a good learning curve thing.
her name's Pickford, so
Mm.
stop calling her the comm badge swallowing girl.
Well, in fairness, there's nowhere to remember that.
I mean, I remember it, and I don't have it written down.
Why do you remember it?
I saw it on a subtitle.
Oh, yeah. Anything else I love about the show? I like the sets more than I thought I would, but now I'm liking them less and less each episode. Notably less because they're being overused and poorly used. Well, the limitations are showing really far, so they're liking less and less and less. I did love the orb version in this show. It was a really nice visual update of the effect with no notes. Or the
version?
Prophet.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That was a no notes. That was perfect. So I did love that effect. It's very specific, but that was I do love that bit. I love using the original uniform. That I loved, but again, that's very specific.
Is there anything you actively dislike and would not like to have back or fix or have them fix?
Well, yeah, the overuse of the sets. I would stop doing that. I would have them build new sets or redress them. Use the LED wall way more. Use the. I dislike that they've not used the idea of hollow instructors even once.
Yeah, that seems like a natural progression.
We've had sort of it in one episode with 2 people, but neither have been done. Well, 3, I suppose, clearly now. So that premise has not been utilized. Lack of space shots. I would have them go out and do more space stuff. That for sure.
I think people would complain about that though. Like, why are you sending students into space? That seems stupid. And it does. So I'm glad they're not overplaying that hand of having the ship go to do things.
Well, it'd be easier if the 3 times we saw it wasn't attacked, right? Because it shouldn't always be attacked.
It's true.
If it was out every episode only attacked twice, it'd feel more meaningful. But if it was out twice, attacked twice, of course, don't go out, you get attacked. Well, no, I think every time it's out, actually, it's gone out, it's got attacked. But it'd be different. I would structure around the idea that non-essential people stay at the War Academy. You'd split the campus more, notably, so only the people in the mission would go. Therefore, I mean, yes, their possessions are there with the quarters, fine, but you'd still take the ship. I would absolutely have them walk on Earth more. That really added to episode 2. the other sets, you know, fine, and it's more expensive, but the bit where Kirk and Spock walked in Star Trek 4, just the waterfront, you know, even if you walk the waterfront and then replace almost all of it with CG, you base it on a real thing and then you replace if you have to, right? Like that visual moving around, or have them, you know, have a gimmick be that Jaden likes to stand on the top of the Golden Gate Bridge and look at birds, and you get him out. Would be lovely. Just to, you know, things like that would elevate it a lot and give it some visual difference.
Yeah, that's good.
I wouldn't even mind the idea of him just bird watching in the holodeck.
Jeez, let's see a fucking holodeck of the future. That would be cool.
And every week, you know, every time we see it, he's on a different planet, and it's really nice, elaborate planet LED wallscapes. And he always has. I wasn't adding superfluous things here, but you have a guide from the planet. So he has an episode on Ferenginar, and he's in the era of TNG, so he has a TNG of Ferengi. Goes Andoria, and he has a, you know, a appropriate looking alien, or from TAS like Mike Man would do, you know, throwaway moments, but this gimmick that would be feeling different, feeling extra, and then you see Jaden doing bird watching with other aliens for hologram programs, who then you get this interspecies fun. You know, how do you work with a Tellarite? You know, I do not want to fight. Well, I do, you dick. I just want to look at birds. Ah, look at my bird. God damn. You know, you could make fun stuff from that, right? That'd be meaningful. Or you see, I'm just trying to use stuff that's in the show, right? Or you take the premise of Genesis wake up at 4 a.m. every day, as you said, and she goes weird places. That's her thing, right? She never wants to run, you know, physical exertion to a new place every time, so she runs out of the academy. She's beaming to beam to Singapore, and she runs for an hour because she can, and she hacks system to hide her beaming. She said that in an episode, kind of goes unusual places. That would be a fun thing that she does, and so you see her in her quarters, and then she's suddenly got a Mongolian fertility statue, and now she's got you know what I mean? Like that would be another fun dynamic you could do that would add to the show versus being locked in the sets. So that's in the show, right? There's a premises that would just be from the characters, right? How do they sound?
Good. I think that's overplaying your hand a bit. I mean, I don't like the idea of her bringing something back from every place she goes. I think that's a little bit silly, but I do like the idea of actually traveling around places on the planet because you can beam anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. And not every place, just some places.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Big people of Tellar need more screen time. Sure.
And Devereaux says, when Strange Worlds is done, they might use those sets. That is true, because Strange Worlds wrapped first. Not by a long way, but they did wrap first. So I can imagine them saying, oh, you know, we're done with the sick bay shots. We'll do those early season. We'll give that set to Academy to modify. So I can see that being... That could be a thing. So we might see the set start to appear and then be damaged and then appear. That would make sense.
Are we still going to call that we're going to see the Starfleet Academy sets on Strange New Worlds as like a starbase or something? Because it seems a shame not to use them for that.
Or an alien base. Make all the LED lights green in the facility and shoot it in a certain way. Like make it smoky and top down because it's a giant set. You know, you have a giant podium with an alien going, and just have a big shootout, and number one jumps in. And it's like, I mean, we can tell it's this, you know, the set, but fucking it's just fucking smoky bullshit place, right? Or like a lasers just going like a laser grid, but it's filling the set. You know. You know.
Dustin says, how is Sam 2.0 going to actually do what? Oh, once classes restart. It'll be interesting to see how her character changes, because now that she's got 17 years of growing up with the doctor teaching her stuff, she's not going to be as innocent. And, you know, that'll be interesting to see if she plays it differently moving forward. And I don't know if she's going to necessarily.
She should be a different character in theory.
Yeah.
Which is exciting, right? I mean, mildly exciting.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Because, yeah, if she's now no longer annoying, but now abrasive like the Doctor was,
Yeah.
that would make sense. And then, learns past that.
And War's
Awesome.
Age 29 says, didn't Cisco do something like that at the Academy where he used transporter credits or something to go home for dinner? Yep. Yes, he did. Beam home for dinner every night. Beam home to New Orleans for dinner. Yeah.
It ain't far.
And that's also, well, this is 700 years past that. So you could
Yeah.
beam to the moon, beam to Mars.
Yeah. Yeah. You could site to site, whereas then you probably have to go to a certain, maybe a zone to use a transporter pad or whatever. I didn't know that because they had to sneak into that facility with a guy in old uniform.
And Sussy Guru 2000 throws in €5.
Thank you.
Says, I fear she will be exactly the same. Oh my God. I hope not, because there's no reason for her to be the same. I don't mind a little bit of, let's see, even that, no, it doesn't make sense. There should be no naivety to her character anymore because the Doctor's been around for 900 fucking years. He's seen it all. He knows it all pretty much. And he was her dad, teaching her everything she needed to know for 17 years. Although they were very isolated, just the two of them. So,
Well, implied anyway, because they wouldn't go with those visuals.
That might play into it somewhat, but she shouldn't have stupid questions like, I don't know. I don't know what that is, but I really like it or whatever, because she should know these things at this point.
Yeah, in theory, yeah, based on what the show is, she's been homeschooled in a big house for 17 years with her dad. That's the premise, right? But also, Doctor never had a childhood ever either, so he's not equipped to teach her like a child. So he's gonna be teaching her like an annoyed adult would. So she's not gonna be well adjusted, but she'll be more adjusted. Is the idea, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no way. It's like we did definitely comment when Patton Oswalt didn't know what Christmas was. The things that loving Vulcans in Strange Worlds he would have just found because it's such a famous thing on Earth. Or just stuff he just didn't know that he would obviously know. He's being a human fan, and it's just like, well, so she should know more things. Therefore, all those moments should not be part of the show. And they weren't that important anyway. That gimmick was not a huge part. It was just the first two episodes. She's born, she's there. So losing that is not a huge deal because it wasn't really focused on, which is great because it never should have been focused on. But speaking of focused on, I asked a question a while ago with 66 votes. Was Star Wars, George's first three, made for? And 61% say everyone. 39% say boys.
Yes, New Sprocket is half Tellarite, half Klingon, guys. He's Klingonite, as he called himself. So they're talking about Tellarites in the chat there. But yeah. Now, I don't know. With 2 episodes left this season, I don't know how much is going to focus around Sam, but I do want to see some change in her character for sure. Dan Ben, Paul Giamatti plays New Sprocket, part Klingon, part Tellarite. Yes.
Although it's not a huge part of his character, ironically, neither part. As in, he's not either, really. You can kind of tell he's both, but he's not either.
Yeah.
Which is the opposite. Exactly. The Klingon Gemini lady, you can absolutely sense both very distinctly. She is both shoved together, which is why she's... Well, not really in the last couple. I guess
she's been absent.
Also budget thing, I'm guessing.
Maybe. I mean, Jet Reno was out of most of Discovery. She's been in more episodes than Laura Thuck for this show. And it's... Yeah.
Yeah, like one more. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
mean, she was talking to her in the one scene, but still.
Much cheaper. She just turns up. I mean, boy, Jet has no real hair either. Like, in terms of...
Yeah.
I'm here! Right, we're going to film.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the amount of makeup for the Gemini lady is just... very impressive,
And Destin says, what changes for the Doctor? Nothing. He's 900 years old. He just lived another 17 years. Raising a kid. So he's more of a father figure now, I guess. Might have better bedside manner. He's not as grumpy and gruff. Maybe. But...
Well, the thing is, he did the 80 years with the family on the time dilation planet. He got married. He had kids. He was a father. He was not different afterwards.
Yeah.
And then he had Belle and his wife and his son who became a clean rocker, and actually wasn't different after either. He fell in love with Seven. Wasn't different after. Now, subtly, yes, but meaningfully, no. So if he's now suddenly paternal, that said, all those things happened and then moved on from, but she's still in the academy. So, you know, you can see him being like, come here, daughter, because she's still there. You know, it's just another day for him. You know, she graduated from his life, but he's now got to go back to being a doctor for the first time in 17 years. So in that sense, whereas if you've left Time Dilation Planet, you know the 1 minute you've been on this pad, your wife's dead. Sorry to say, right? And as a pure intellectual, he can move on. But 17-year daughter is there, as annoying as that's going to be. So we'll see. But also, it's a small part of his life. I wonder, does that mean we're going to include him as being now 887 years versus 870?
No. 17 years doesn't make a difference when there's 9 centuries on your...
No, but I mean, like, would that be his age? Because he lived that time linearly for him, or do we only include that as being modern? No, it wouldn't include that. Otherwise, it would have included that as his time dilation life. So yeah,
he did include that as his time dilation life.
Maybe, but then it would have gone from being 2.
They do say 900 years.
Then it would have gone from 2 in Voyager to 76 in the course of 1 minute, which is possible. They never addressed that. Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Dan says,
yeah.
Oh, Dan says there is a Star Wars and real world science book. Yes, there is. I have it upstairs. How Star Wars technology influenced real technology. What's more, Star Trek, I think.
I remember seeing a BSG, like a theology book in a random library when I was looking for universities years and years ago. I was like, A, this is super unlicensed, clearly. And B, I'm not reading a book about theology at BSG. You're having fun, Mr. Writer, but this is not worth me reading. No.
Well, BSG is based on Mormonism. It's written by Mormon. The 12 tribes of Israel and wandering the desert for 40 years. And
Ron Moore?
No. Ron Moore didn't write BSG.
Oh, I mean the first one, right. I see, right.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's very Mormonistic in its approach to everything. Anywho's.
Well, the poll, though, was an interesting question. I thought, anyway. When Gene made TOS, was it for boys or everyone? Vote now. Any final super chats, guys? Any final comments, questions? Let us know.
Check PayPal. Nothing on PayPal. Yeah, feel free to shoot in a message or whatever. But if not, see you tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think it's fair to say. You don't need don't need to love the new show if it's not very good. That's okay. That's okay.
And Maze says, I'm 50, and to me, DS9 is the best Trek. I'm 51, and DS9 is the best Trek besides TOS and TNG.
And 7 episodes of Voyager.
Yeah, it's all good.
But can we agree Voyager is the best 2-parters? So we did do that as a thing, and we were like, absolutely does. Because DS9 has the best 7-parters, but that doesn't count.
That's true. Oh, you're absolutely right, yeah.
There's
best 2-parters.
There's very few 2-parters in DS9, and a lot of them are early, and they're not that great. They're fine, but Voyagers are much better. And TNG's, there's like 2 that are really good, then various that are not. Marie just watched Descent, just like last week, and I didn't tell her what to think, obviously. But she couldn't remember Law's name, first of all. Great. I said to her, you don't like... we have different opinions on that a little bit, but neither of us like it, and she said it was okay. And she did think the Borg were not done very well. And she liked part 1 better. It's like, yes. Yep. As you should. And at some point we'll do a Marie Drunkyard ranking TNG, because she's almost seen them all. And she's genuinely sad to be finishing, because then she doesn't think she's going to like any other shows as much, because she can't see her liking them as much. And I said, that's interesting. Because that's what people felt at the time, right? It's such a core show, but you're going to have your own personal preference with the characters, and it's going to be one of the shows probably, right?
Yeah.
Who are you gonna relate with?
War Sage says, "Isn't there a second Doctor out there somewhere?" As I remember in the
Mm-hmm.
episode "Living Witness," there is second Doctor. There is, yes,
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Yep, and that could very well be a season 2.
That'd be a great episode.
Mm-hmm. And we said it a year ago that Doctor could be the villain. You know, in some form, would be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the burn affected him
Yeah.
differently. He wasn't being stayed in good stead. What would be, you know, being in the Starfleet bubble.
Yeah. All right, guys. Let's probably close out this poll with 24 votes. Did Gene make TOS 4? Everyone wins with 83%. For Just Boys, 17%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun. There you go. There you go, guys. I think we've answered that conclusively, Stuart. Well done, us.
Perfect.
And mine
I
is
like
such
it.
a cheat.
Yeah.
But I thought of one, though.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, we don't know what tomorrow's topic's going to be, but we're going to have a live topic. So join us the same time, same station. You know, the
Same
routine.
station.
Yeah.
You guys know.
And yeah, until then, he's Commander Cockings.
It's Captain Foley.
Bye.